absolutely doable.
All right, don't get so excited about Toph.
Shut up, dude. Wow. You just try to play off your co-caster, this is what you get.
That's basically what I did.
Yeah, that is.
Ooh, Hungrybox saying, you know what, this game, I'm not feeling it.
Looking like.
I'm going to be okay. I'm going to pull it together. Game 2.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it together.
That's what he's saying.
This is that.
Looks like he's soul searching.
It does.
And let me say, this has been a tough weekend for all our players.
Oh, yeah.
He's a guy that's very salty about what went down at EVO 2013. But it's a guy who wants to prove himself again, who felt that he was wronged and just wanted to compete. And I had beaten Mango NCR, won the Fall Classic, I think, and I got second at Zenith, maybe, but they still ranked me 5th, from what I understand. So I was trying to still prove myself.
I do that sometimes, too.
Looks like some jams are about to start.
Some jams.
Oh.
Whoa. What do we got? Radiohead? Nirvana?
Kanye. He's
Kanye?
gonna listen to some Kanye.
All right, so illegally?
Whoa.
I can't do that, dude. Not on Video Game Bootcamp's channel.
I think Catfish knows where it's at. Kick some tail.
So because I'm from Florida and he's from North Carolina, we would usually meet up at this tournament called Tipped Off, and that was in Georgia. That was, I think to this day, still Georgia's premier regional event. So we would meet there a lot, and the first time I ever even heard of him was at Tipped Off 4. I ended up getting second. A guy named Dr. Peepee ends up getting like 4th place out of nowhere. I'd never even heard of the guy, and he's beating all the Georgia's best players. And then I had to play him in losers finals. And I remember it being a very easy match because he clearly did not have any idea how to play Puff or what was going on. And I just saw the frustration on his face. Over the years, we would continue meeting up with each other.
What the hell?
Not good.
What?
Tipped Off 6, I think we played, and I beat him there. We played at ROM 2, and I beat him there. He was a little more proficient, a little better at it, but I was seeing this guy, Dr. Peepee, again, is in the top. He's here at the finals. This isn't crazy. He was clearly showing improvement, clearly showing the thirst to win. And then even again, Apex 2010, he got 4th place. There he was again, placings. So this guy was clearly now a top contender, just simply one who happened to not know what to do against Jigglypuff. And the first time he really laid down the law and beat me pretty hard was ROM 3, and it was very frustrating for me because I don't lose to Falco ever, and then he was the first one to really do it, and he did it well too. I felt overwhelmed, and all of a sudden the improvement was definitely showing.
So I remember at Zenith, it was a back alley conversation that I just happened to eavesdrop on. I remember Peepee saying that like Hungrybox, he could never ever beat him, and then there was one time when he beat him and he never lost to him ever again.
Ever since that moment, he started to have a pretty good winning streak against me, and he started to usually be able to beat me pretty consistently in tournaments.
This is what I know from hearing it from Peepee.
Yeah.
I don't remember following their sets that closely, but it sounded like Hungrybox beat Peepee over and over and over, and then Peepee just kind of like figured it out and started.
Yeah, I remember there was a period of time, I feel like it was like Impulse 2012, where I was watching Peepee play Xbox, and I was like, this fool's never gonna lose to this guy again.
You know, it feels like that a lot with Hungrybox sometimes, where it's like if he's winning, it's like he's gonna win every single time they ever play from here on out. Or if he's losing, it's like, well, he literally can do nothing.
Peepee was traveling a lot. I think there was an era where he was really, really strong. He won Kings of Cali over Mango.
Yeah.
That was really important. Yeah. And him and HBox, like when Mango wasn't around, you know, it was like pretty much down to those two to win tournaments. So it was like a really big deal. And since Peepee, typically at that point, kind of at HBox's number, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like Peepee literally won every time for a while, and I remember looking at their sets and just being like, geez, he can't lose these. And then when Hungrybox would win, it would be like off of, you know, some crazy gimp or like some rest setup or something that looked like, okay, he got him that time, but he's not gonna get him again.
Remember, I was the favorite to win the Big House 3. I think I was top seeded for that event. I think I lost to Meech King in winter semis, I think, right? That tournament. So he beat me, so that was already I was pretty upset by that as well. And then now that I had to play Peepee and lose finals, it was detrimental to me because I thought if I lose to both these guys, I'm not being representative of the ranking that I wanted so bad.
We got losers finals of the big house. This is a really weird losers finals because
Mewtwo King's not in it? And
yeah.
Is that
Because
where you're
Mewtwo
going with
King's
that?
waiting in winners, really.
Yeah, because Mewtwo King's waiting in
Mewtwo
winners.
King would have normally either gotten 4th or would be in losers finals.
Or you would expect him to have gotten there not by beating Hbox.
It was a 3-stock, and I gave up last stock, I remember. That was classic Hungrybox versus Peepee at the time. Just overwhelmed, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to manage, how to get around this guy. And I was just in the slumps. And I needed something. I needed something to wake me up, to boost me up. I needed something, because I said this whole patient style, this whole thing of where I'm just gonna drown you out. You can't bleed out someone who has no blood. This guy was stoned, right? So I couldn't bleed him out. So I needed something to counteract that. I needed just a damn axe to cut through it.
Is he pulling out his phone? He's pulling out his phone.
Who is Skimmer? Oh, Hbox. All right.
Just needs a moment to collect himself. Looking like Hugs.
Oh, I see. Yeah, really emptying his pockets. I do that sometimes too.
Looks like some jams are about to start.
Some jabs.
Taking the headphones out and listening to music is not that weird in and of itself, right? That's normal. People will do that mid-set.
Absolutely.
Where Hungrybox did something differently was
He literally started just. First of all, he took a really long time to pick the song, I think. I feel like he took a really long time to pick the song.
So I take out my phone, I take out these silly green, headbuds that I have, and I looked at my phone and I said, what can I listen to make me play completely aggressive, because I'm gonna give it a try. I saw Yeezus, and I usually listen to albums in full. I don't listen to individual songs. So I saw it, I saw Kanye's face right there saying, play me. And I'm like, all right, Kanye, I'll play you. And I click play. And the album starts with this crazy distorted sound, and I felt like, it's gonna sound dumb, but I felt like I was transforming into this complete, just sick player. And I said, fuck everything, go play. And these drums started coming on and I was feeling it. And then we go, I think game 2, I take him to FOD or something like that. And I said, I'm just gonna get in his face the whole time and rest him as much as I can.
Peepee actually just slamming him into the ground repeatedly, and Hungrybox reads it all the way. He is dancing right now, but actually.
It started out kind of even, but when I got the first rest, I'm like, what if I can do it again?
Hey, could we get a little player cam just real quick, please? He's singing along.
I don't think that Gimmer's gonna do that for us. He's pretty hard-nosed about. Oh! 2 stocks! He's popping off!
Hbox he's rapping.
He is straight up popping off right now.
Dude, he's doing rap hand motions as he's beating his Falco. Oh!
Wow, a delayed up throw down B.
Yeah, and he DIs, but not enough.
You just start like.
gesticulating.
Is that what does that word mean?
But not quite.
Oh, doesn't get that.
Not quite!
Oh.
Not quite! Hungrybox says, look who's back! Who's back? Oh my god, the head bob!
Peepee grimacing. Okay, yeah, so hey, stream, this is what he's been looking like all match.
But except Peepee has not been soul searching, rather he's been like,
Yeah.
I just hear Kanye like, easy season approach and fuck whatever. It's just like, I was like, yes, let's go.
He was getting into it. His mouth was moving. I don't know, because we had the headphones on, so I don't know if what he was doing was audible. PPMD was right next to him.
And I ended up resting him, I think, 4 times that game. Every time the game ended, the song would change to the next song. It's as if the match length was equal to the song length. So On Sight, track 1, track 2, Black Skinhead, 2 completely crazy aggressive tracks.
if you want to be one of the best players in the world, this is the toll that it takes on your mind.
Everyone tells you have to just shrug it off, but it's really hard. That's where it comes to testing your mettle as a competitor and all that. I mean, I feel like Peepee is a guy where we expect him to be able to roll with these sort of punches, but it's gonna affect everybody. And there's a couple moves in the game that people really hate getting hit by, like rest.
Not Gimmer. Oh! Rest City! Jigglypuff has been sleeping on the job all day!
It can be a little infuriating. That's gonna rattle a lot of people.
Wow. Amazing.
Oh my god, 9%!
The thought creeps into your head, right, where it's like, you go in expecting to win, and then it's like, am I actually gonna win? Or am I gonna lose this one? Or what can I do to win? I don't, like you said, exactly, it kind of you already lost when if you start to get down on yourself, but I don't know. I think the top players probably don't think like that anymore. They probably learned how to beat it out of them.
Yeah,
but
at least most of the time.
Yeah,
I don't know,
maybe not all the time. Maybe it's one of those things.
Very important. Hungrybox opts not to rest, waits out the get up attack.
And
no fear.
No edge
Catches
cancel.
that side B with a down B.
I also think Hungrybox is probably super good at tilting people. This is kind of on the other
Has to
topic.
be.
And so
everyone says.
So it's almost like, you know,
Every
okay,
single top
PPMD and all the other top players, like their resilience is amazing, but Hungrybox is able to pierce that resilience at another level. So you have to have super next level resilience.
You know,
Oh, this could be big. Oh,
previous to,
great tech.
oh, great, beautiful shark by Hungrybox.
That was phenomenal.
He sharked him.
Sharked, absolutely sharked him. And Peepee knowing he misstepped.
Kanye
Peepee
West
knowing
with his
he made a
hands
mistake.
up.
And H-Box just going to town. Looks like pulling out the headphones was the right choice.
It was. It loosened him up.
It did.
Loosened him up.
That first game, he was just looking sad.
Hungrybox got his groove back.
Yeah.
If you're getting hit by that many rests, so if you go down, so we're saying Peepee lost game 2.
Yeah, one game won convincingly, and then got rested 8 times in the next 2 games.
Domination. It's orgasmic. That's literally the only way I can put it. You're landing all or nothing maneuvers 8 times in a row. And knowing that damn well, if you miss a single one, you can get 0 to death. Even Falcon can do that, especially on small stages. You know damn well. And so to land those and to completely outplay him and see it as every single move before it even happens against someone who's favored against you, that's satisfaction in its penultimate degree. It's the same probably feeling he gets when he double shines me off the top.
So not only is that like really upsetting, but it's also like clearly you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So then mid-set, you gotta figure out like, okay, crap, like how's he hitting? So it's like, am I not DIing up throw? Then it's like, okay, I can't ignore that. I have to like get that reflex, you know, back. Am I missing techs? Am I getting tech trapped? I gotta think differently about those situations. Am I like side being like a dummy? So it's like really, there's like certain like ways you get killed where it's like really obvious how you got killed. Like if you get arrested, it's like, you almost always know if you get up throw arrested, you're just like, crap, I missed the DI. So you gotta like, then you gotta sit there and think to yourself like, okay, what do I gotta do to like, you know, switch it up? And then sometimes that's like pretty challenging because if you start focusing on that with it, like your conscience, then your flow gets like really disrupted.
Yeah, you can't let it take over the rest of what's good about your game. You can't only play defense and win.
Exactly.
So between the games after I won, because I was just being young and stupid, I was singing along to the album, getting hyped up myself, not caring what people behind me thought. I was doing the drum beats like that. It wasn't that I was trying to get in his head, which most people thought. I was trying to amp myself up. And for some reason, that was helping me out.
So if you get to the high level, you have to imagine that PPMD top competitor, he needs to be able to deal with whatever the person next to him is doing.
True.
Practically speaking,
This is
a
an
human
interesting-
being is sitting here, right? And like, is it not gonna tilt you? It's like, just for that 1 second, your mind's like, what's this guy doing?
Look at, he's just straight up rapping.
He is.
To the camera.
And Carol is having a great time with him.
I was up 2-1 at that point. Then I Am a God came on, which is a slower song, but it should be relevant.
We got some great spacing going on. Looks like Peepee's respecting Hungrybox's space a little bit more than previously.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get that sense too, but that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, kind of.
But what happened was that song made me get in my own head. I'm like, am I really doing this correctly? The album was literally playing itself. And then, so that was happening too, and I got wrecked game 4.
One up throw rest will shatter the dreams of everyone in this room.
Yeah.
Isn't that some shit?
Oh, but and there it is.
The back
And there
air.
it is. There it is. Video game boot camp back there to close it out.
Game 4, you know, he was able to turn it around, take that game.
Yeah.
You know, he was obviously on his own counter pick, which is like good.
Right. Yeah, especially in Spacey Puff. It's like usually being on your counter pick's pretty good.
Yeah.
Dropping game 3 is a really big deal.
Yeah.
You never want to like lose the break point for the counter pick.
It was our minds talking to each other without us speaking words to each other. That's kind of how it was. Body language is a massive, massive thing. Sometimes body language speaks more than words do. And I think that's what he was doing. And he was mumbling to himself, trying to keep himself composed, I'm pretty sure. Like, maybe trying to phase me out as well, or maybe trying to, resume confidence, saying, this is a ploy, he's doing that on purpose. And I was doing that on purpose, but again, it wasn't to attack him, or it wasn't to get him phased out, it was to phase myself up. So it was an inadvertent effect. Being a top player, I would say in general, you do whatever it takes to win. Like whatever it takes, as long as it's legal, obviously I don't want to cheat, but whatever it takes to win that is in your tool set. And you're gonna abuse everything you have the most times you have, because the win is all that matters at that point. It's our willingness to go that one step further regardless of how damn stupid you look, just to win. For me, at least.
2-2.
2-2.
Toph.
All right, H-Box lining up a new song on his iPod.
2-2. We got a new song.
More likely iPhone.
And we've got a rivalry as old as time.
New slaves came on.
It looks like Mewtwo King definitely stepped up.
Yeah.
And Peepee. This is the set. This will tell us. This is the set.
Right.
This set has a lot of history. What we're watching right now is really important.
It is.
To what the discussion of who the best players are is going to look like.
Right. But I'm still seeing Hungrybox. He's still, he's still nodding. He's still,
He's not out of this.
He's not out of
Game
this.
one, he gave up because he was out of it, right?
He was out of it.
lost game
mentally,
one.
emotionally, he was out of it.
Yeah.
Now that's not what we're seeing. Wow, that was
missed
really
edge guard.
close. This could be it.
But what's up? Hungrybox saying, what's up?
Yeah, what's up?
It's just the battle at that point, man. You just got to tough it out. You got to be the better player.
Yeah.
Versus a player like Hungrybox and PPMD, it's like, I don't know.
Right.
Any little mistake can turn into a stock.
Yeah, on a given day, like, it could go either way.
Could go either way.
Oh!
And the pound hits him.
And Hungrybox goes for the. Oh, what a grab!
Oh!
That was a great grab. That was a big grab hitbox.
Big grab, and something's wrong with the G diffuser.
PB won game 4, it means he's probably gotten used to it. He's probably kind of gotten over it. But like,
I don't think he did it the whole set though, right?
No,
I feel like it must have died down.
it was with the like the when he had the momentum.
With the intensity.
The intensity.
Yeah.
Gary, up air.
He didn't get it.
Dumpster.
Dumpster. And this is it. This is it.
One stock to one stock.
Big-
The pressure's on. The crowd is outrageous. What
moment.
will happen?
His last stock 1-1, and he's dancing around me. And he's dancing around me, dancing around me.
The crowd on Peepee's side, except for Kanye West.
Except for Kanye West, who's very adamantly Hungrybox.
Peepee dancing around him. This is looking rough for Hungrybox.
Yeah.
Peepee with all the momentum right now.
Oh, the laser pressure. All right, read it.
Hungrybox gets out, gets hit with a back air. He's not in a good spot right now.
So I'm gonna go for it. And that's when the beat in New Slaves is picking up, picking up.
Both states.
A big back air!
Kanye's like in the middle of verse 2, whatever in the song. I get the back air. He goes up, and I said, you're gonna fantasy him. I'm not gonna go out there because I know you're gonna fantasy him. And it was just one of those clutch reads. And he comes back, and I position myself, and he phantasms on. And then,
Rest! It's over!
Oh my.
Hungrybox with his hands on his head. It's over!
Pop off, walking in my general direction, and then behind me, and now in the corner.
Dr. Peepee unplugs the controller. We'll see you next time, Peepee. 3rd place.
I just remember people, I've done a lot of ridiculous pop-ups because I'm an emotional player. I remember that one in particular because I broke my headphones. That was the last time they ever were used. The last little sounds that they ever will play was track 4 of that album. So I rip off my phone, my headphones completely shattered. I cut myself on my hand doing so, and I just scream really loud and I'm sweating like a pig, and I walk off like this because I couldn't believe what just happened. And then I come back and I shake his hand afterwards because we both needed a moment after that. I got a Band-Aid for my finger, and then the Band-Aid was hurting, and then I played Mewtwo King and he destroyed me again because he was just out of his mind playing that tournament. What was significant about that set is that I taught myself that perhaps I could use outside parameters to affect my play style. You might have noticed that I started standing up too. I started doing certain things. I would have these weird outside habits, and whether or not that was superstition or something scientific about it, like standing up or listening to certain songs or phasing out the audience, I was trying to decode the science behind Melee. The science, not behind the game itself and all the technical stuff, but the science behind sitting down at a setup and winning the game in front of you based upon the atmosphere around you. Like, the atmosphere in this tournament is the same as last year, but you're in that ballroom and you're on a very long stage and the crowd is very close to you, very loud. Whereas at EVO, you're on this stage in the middle of somewhere and the crowd is massive, but the crowd is further away from you. So their cheers and chants become drowned out. They become less personal, more ambiguous, and more part of the ambiance around you. So when these smaller regional events happen, and you got, Kanye West behind you screaming "go" in one ear, then you got PGH Carroll in the other, screaming in the other, and 2 different factions who don't want you to win, you can hear their exact words and make out exactly what they're saying. it becomes a lot more personal. It becomes a lot more relevant exactly who they want to win and their disdain for you. So it's really, you have to not only adapt to the play about the play, you have to prepare for the tournament you're gonna go to, because they feel different. I don't know what it is, they feel different. You're playing Melee, but it's Melee version A, B, or Z, right? And it depends entirely on how you're playing it. And sometimes you have tournaments that aren't run well. Sometimes you have tournaments where you gotta switch setups, you know, things like that, and things, you know, outside parameters that you can't really expect. So adaptation in every degree in that sense.
But we're outside of the box of what Melee used to be.
Right.
IRL strats.
Yeah, IRL strats for sure. This is like a thing in like other fighting games. You know what? Even I heard stories from even within the realm of Smash Bros. So like with the FGC, I remember they did a thing where like for KOF they would put up barriers between the players so they couldn't look at their sticks or whatever. I heard that Hbox would do this thing where he would down throw you, which you know it has a long animation, and then he wants to see if you're DIing in. It's a pretty quick reaction, but then he can rest him. So he looks at your controller to see if you're DIing in or not. That's the rumor. I have no idea if this is true, but if that's true, that's actually pretty sick.
I don't think he has enough skill to do that.
That sounds hard.
Because the person's on the left of you, if they're holding right, like you need to translate that into the game.
Yeah. Right. That's
Or maybe
right,
you
right.
already know.
Maybe he
like,
just
all right, I
knows.
grabbed him on this side. Is it right or left?
Yeah.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
You can practice it. Anyway, point being, Hbox is, he definitely like has some stuff where he does certain things like IRL strats. 2014, he pioneered the standing up next to your opponent, and there was that whole funny little graphic of him like standing up and then like sitting on a unicycle, then sitting on the like rails behind his opponent or whatever, but kind of sitting on his opponent's, you know, like just getting higher and higher and higher or whatever. That's like the Hungrybox. And
I think the set did turn around when he did that, if I recall.
I think it did. And I remember we were remarking on it. We were like, oh my god, this is crazy all of a sudden. It was like, holy, can we hear? We can't hear him. We don't really know, but you know, one way or another. That's pretty nutty.
It was nutty.
Where's my fight money, dude? Where's my fight money?
Fight money.